let me bring in a man. I like to call him now Big John Schefter. Now, for the past month or so, this guy, Big John Stud, Big John Schefter, he's been the angel on my shoulder. I probably put a little bit too much stock into the devil on my shoulder, who was, telling me that this trade was going to happen. But Big John has been emphatic that this trade was not going to happen, that they were not going to bring in Watson at the deadline. So I give you credit. You've said it on this show several times. So, people have the record of that if they watch previous episodes. I give you credit and I give you kudos to that, sir. So how are you today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Listen, the Miami Heat win again. Life is good.
Yeah, we spoke about that before the game. They're going to smash them, and that's exactly what they did.
That's what I told you. See, you're Big John Schefter. I'm Donno Wojnarowski, right? I'm all the NBA stuff for me, the NFL stuff for you.
There you go. That works for me.
So how do you feel, Big John, about the way that it's been handled, up to this point? I mean, and listen, part of it, people always ask, like, how come the Dolphins never came out and said we are absolutely not going to trade for Deshaun Watson? And I maintain it's because they were interested and they just didn't want to lie about it. But obviously there were a lot of hurdles they had to jump over to get this done by yesterday. And it was too much. It was too much to get done yesterday. So how do you feel about the way that this has been handled over the past month or so?
Well, I mean, if you're going to go over the past month, it hasn't been really bad. But if you think about it, it's been going on for 9 months. This has been going on, hanging over to his head,
That's a good point.
For 9 months, give or take a couple days. And I don't even know how you expect to get the best out of him when, you're constantly, it's like you're married and, you come home and your girl doesn't want to be with you. That can't be easy for him to play and try to win. He's basically trying to save the job of the man who's trying to replace him. That's insane. I don't even know how. If I was two, I'd throw interceptions on purpose. I mean, if that's what the way you feel.
Well, he is throwing about a pick per game, so maybe he's doing that, to be fair.
You never. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if you look at his track record, he isn't like he throws many interceptions. He doesn't throw them as often as he's throwing them now. So maybe, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. But I have a different take on the whole Chris Greer thing. You want to say that he was defending himself and all that, and I get it. I don't buy it for 1 second. I don't buy it for 1 second. I think the Dolphins, they've proven in the past that this whole thing about, we want people that have character and that they're proper and team first. I don't believe any of that, because if that wasn't been the case, you wouldn't have tried to run Tony Sperano out of town when he was coaching for you, and you're during the season trying to bring in Jim Harbaugh. I mean, come on, you've already done it once.
Yeah, and I'm thinking out loud here, because part of me would say that because listen, I to an extent, I can understand it. And one of the things that Chris Greer said today, and like he says that, they really didn't come that close, in his words, to making this deal. But he did admit, we did our due diligence and we were looking into this player, and we were, doing research on Deshaun Watson's legal situation. We were doing background checks. Like he's admitted all that, right? But like a part of me would like to say, man, like, you can't find a way to do it a little bit more discreetly, a little bit more quietly. But then on the flip side of it, I think part of the problem was for the Dolphins on why they couldn't keep this a secret and why they couldn't be discreet about it was Houston made a big effort to leak everything, right? Because and then I think Deshaun Watson's people also started to kind of leak things in the final days, because I thought Mike Florio made a great point on Pro Football Talk that once you got the word in the last few days that Deshaun Watson was only willing to waive his no trade clause for Miami, that leak surely didn't come from Houston, because that hurts their leverage. Like, there's no reason why Houston would leak that. That sounds like a Deshaun Watson leak. So it's hard to do this discreetly when the other two parties you're dealing with are more than happy to leak things to the media. So I do think that hurt the Dolphins a little bit as well. And listen, at the end of the day, and I'm not defending Deshaun Watson as a person, because he's been accused of doing some really terrible things. And if you've read any of the accounts, and at least one of the women did an interview months ago, and it's like it's hard not to believe them with the way that the testimony was shared. So like I'm certainly not defending him as a human being. I can't understand, though, if you have what Chris Greer called a unique situation of having, one of the best quarterbacks in the league available in a trade, you do your due diligence on it. Like I can understand it to that extent. Like I at the end of the day, they probably came to the right decision not to make this deal yesterday.
I agree, but I mean that's a very PG way of saying unique situation. A unique situation, is driving to work and not making it here on time because somebody crashed into your car and you're around the corner. A unique situation is not 22 sexual allegations with 10 criminal hanging over your head, where if you get prosecuted, which I've been on record as saying that Tua wasn't going anywhere, Deshaun wasn't coming here, and I have a really, really I have a feeling he's going to go to prison. You heard it here first. So if it happens, they have the receipts, to say I said it, but I've been saying it from the beginning. Those 10 criminal, the problem isn't the 22 lawsuits, that's not, those aren't the problem. The problem is the 10 criminal. Those are the problem. That's the problem right there. I mean, we've seen people get off like Ray Lewis, different people get off of major situations, but Ray Lewis was coming off of if I'm not mistaken, it was a murder charge, but it was one murder charge, not 10 murder charges. Or, it's one count.
Hold on. To be fair, we don't have charges yet. They're complaints that have not become charges.
I understand. But what I'm saying is if he is, 10 complaints is not the same as one complaint.
Right. It's not nothing. And I totally get that.
It's not nothing. Totally. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think the reason why Houston tried to, playing devil's advocate, Houston tried to get him traded as soon as possible, because if anybody knows what he did, it's them. They're the ones that covered everything up. Mm-hmm. So they know if there's more there than what we know, because they're the ones that had this all covered up until he said he didn't want to play there, and they said, okay, well, we'll let the dogs loose. Here it goes.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Now let me ask you, where do we go from here with Tua? Like, is there a way now to repair this relationship between Tua and the coaching staff, Tua in the front office? And I will also ask, to be fair, like, is it even like, is it 1,000% important it's repaired? Because they're professionals at the end of the day. Like, Tua Tagovailoa, he is making millions of dollars to play quarterback in the National Football League. Maybe motivation he's a big boy. Like, motivation doesn't always have to come with, do my bosses like me? Do they like me? So where do you think it goes from here? Because obviously everything that's gone on, it is unfair to Tua. And you know what? If anybody can turn the page on this, it probably is Tua, because he seems like the type of guy who doesn't let extracurricular shit bother him too much. So
I was just going to sit there and say he doesn't let extracurricular shit bother him. He's a unique individual, based on what we've seen, based on the way he acts, based on the way he's handled the situation, which could have probably cracked anybody in half as a person. And he'll sit there and say, he's like, I can't control what I can't control. And that's the way his mindset is. I mean, we're talking about a kid that, his dad drove him to be a quarterback who was left-handed when he was originally right-handed.
Yeah, so that's a great story.
I mean, he's been through it. He knows what tough love is in a way, and I think that's why he's uniquely qualified. I'm of the opinion that I don't think Tua is going anywhere. I don't think he's going anywhere now. I don't think he's going anywhere in the offseason. I think Tua is going to be here next year. at the end of the day, if you look at, unless you're going to get Aaron Rodgers, and from everything I've heard from certain people that I know, his destination is most likely going to be San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's where he wants to go.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody that you're gonna draft that you can say is better than Tua right now. Like the draft there isn't a Trevor Lawrence out there, So
yeah, you're right.
To me, I don't see him going anywhere. I see him playing out his contract, and at the end of the day, I do see him winning over the fans. I just don't think that Brian Flores will be at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I think Brian Flores' days are numbered. As crazy as that may sound, as people may think, oh, they're going to give him a third year. I think he's made a mockery of this entire situation. And if the Dolphins were involved in this situation and they were behind the scenes and it comes out that they were, I don't see how Stephen Ross survives this. You'd have to take him out of ownership if he's guilty of this.
It's heavy stuff, and you're preaching, man, and people are appreciating all this for sure. What do you and how ironic, and I hadn't even mentioned this on this episode at least, how ironic that after all this, the team the Dolphins face this Sunday, the Houston Texans. I mean, how freaking poetic is that? After this entire saga, the Houston Texans come down to South Florida. Dolphins are, I think today they're 6.5-point favorites. It was about 7 yesterday, 6.5-point favorites today. The Dolphins have obviously struggled. It's not news to anybody. 7 straight losses. The Texans are really bad. How do you think that game plays out this week?
No, I think we win, but I think we win because for the first time the entire season, according to Xavier Howard, they went back to playing defense the way they played last year. We expected them to play that way from the beginning of the season. We didn't know they had changed their entire schematic. I don't think anybody expected them to go from a press man team to playing zone when you're a press man team, your corners, the defense is made to be press man. That's why you pay them $34 million for 2 cornerbacks. So I don't understand why you would go from playing press man, leading the league in turnovers with the amoeba defense, confusing everybody, including Patrick Mahomes, who I think threw 3 interceptions last year or 4 against the Dolphins. And all of a sudden, you're like, no, we're not going to pressure the quarterback. We're just going to let you throw. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You set a record for 23 straight games with a turnover, but you're going to stop doing that to do something else that doesn't make any sense. So that's one of his 35,000 decisions that just make no sense. No, I haven't seen one decision that Brian Flores has made all year that has made sense. I don't know what's wrong with him. I really haven't. I don't get it.
It's not the same guy, and it's weird because, dude, his first 2 years in charge, I did nothing but praise him because he seemed to push all the right buttons. I guess the situation changes, and like you find out what a coach is really made of when you actually have some pressure and some expectations.
Well, at the end of the day, that could be it. But at the end of the day, if you think about it, he basically started calling the defense. He should have been doing that. I would have figured he would have done that from the beginning of the year.
Well, yeah, and it's weird because then, it looks that way, but he is denying that he's calling the defense. So
yeah. We have to believe him. I mean, everything out of his mouth isn't a lie. There's not 7 offensive coordinators. 3 defensive coordinators, 2. They probably have like a 3rd kicker that we don't know about. I mean, come on, dude. Like, for real.
Honestly, I think this might be the explanation. Aliens kidnapped the real Brian Flores. It's somebody's wearing his face. Like, I don't know who this is.
You know what it is? It's just that it wasn't only that he was making the right decisions because he was pushing the right buttons, but you could see the common sense in the decisions he was making. There's no common sense to half the stuff you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Jacksonville, you're playing. It's 4th and 1. Tua's got 2 touchdowns, 300 yards. Why do you take the ball out of Tua's hands on 4th and 1 and run the ball when you've run the ball 14 times all game? That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, it also looks like somebody who doesn't trust their quarterback, but it was kind of odd because he played really well in that game to that point. But it looks like somebody who doesn't trust their quarterback in a big spot.
No, it doesn't make. You have a press man scheme the entire season. You basically took over the NFL in what? 10 in 9 games. You literally had almost 15 turnovers, but we're not going to play press man. That's like the Bulls having Michael Jordan, but we're not going to give him the last second shot just because. We're going to try something else. Hey, Tony, what are you doing? Get off the bench here. Take a turnaround jump shot, Tony, coach. Let's not, let's not give it to Michael Jordan, who's, the greatest, last second player in basketball history. Let's just go with you.
Hold on. Greatest player in basketball history, period, sir. I don't want to hear any of this LeBron nonsense on
No. You're never going to hear that from me, bro. I've always said that the Miami Heat were a Dwayne Wade team, and I'm going to die saying that.
The Mario Chalmers team, really, if we're being fair.
Yeah. I guess if you want to take occasional jump shots and get treated like you're 3 by LeBron, that works. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, I appreciate you. We have said a lot, sir. And man, I got to tell you, this is a fan favorite. Every time Big John Stud comes on, he gets the chat going like nobody else, man. Obviously, he's great to interact with. Great follow on social media. Where can people find you, man? And anything else you want to promote? Because I know you do a lot of appearances on shows around the area. You have anything else coming on?
No, not really. You can catch me on Miami Sports Music. You can catch me on occasionally on Finside the NFL. Nice. You can catch me here. I just pop in and out. Sometimes I make a cameo appearance. Sometimes I don't. It is what it is. But this whole Dolphin situation is just I've never seen a team do this. This is it's just like it's a clown show. It literally is a clown show all the way around. It is a clown show.
It really is, man. You are not a clown show, sir. Give your beautiful daughter a hug and have a wonderful rest of your day.
I will, sir. I will. Hey, tell Luca to be careful, man. No more clumsiness, all right?
Yeah.